We are at Bora Bora in French Polynesia.
This is a beautifully renovated hotel, and we can't wait to tell you everything you need to know before you book. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Max.
I'm Marin.
We're Voyager Guru. We post weekly videos with travel tips, hotel reviews, and videos from some of our favorite destinations around the world. So if you don't already, consider subscribing. And of course, if you like this video and you find the content useful, be sure to give us a thumbs up. It really helps our videos get more exposure and produce more videos just like this. Let's jump right into our review. Our first category is location.
Location we rate 4.5 stars. Bora Bora is one of the most picturesque locations in the entire world, and this property is situated directly in front of Otemanu.
Another great part of the location is the proximity to the airport. It's actually just a short 10-15 minute boat ride away, which makes it a very convenient location to access from the airport immediately, and you don't have to go around the entire island in order to get there.
The blue lagoon here is incredible and so huge. It is so bright white blue for as far as you can see.
One of the coolest parts about this hotel is you can actually walk from the overwater bungalows all the way to the very edge, and the water, if anything, continues to get shallower. They're on an incredible sand shelf here that from the air you can see looks amazing. It's such a stark contrast to the deep blue water in between here and the main island of Bora Bora. One of the potential drawbacks of this property is it can be a bit windy. Most of Bora Bora is windy throughout the year. However, it is in an area that is less protected than some other resorts might be. And the only other potential drawback is that it is relatively close to some popular nightlife areas in Bora Bora, and there might be some sound issues, particularly on popular nights where that wind direction is not in your favor.
One of the most amazing features of this hotel is its incredible beachfront. Not all hotels in Bora Bora have a beach quite like this one. The sand is so white and the water is so blue. It is incredibly shallow, and all you can see is the overwater huts with the mountain in the back. Most of the property is centered around this beachfront area, and it's been an amazing place to hang out. Honestly, we never want to leave our overwater villas except for at this hotel because the beachfront is that nice.
Our second category is lobby and check-in.
Lobby and check-in we rate 5 stars. The arrival experience was amazing. Once you land at the airport here in Bora Bora, you're immediately picked up by the Bora Bora representatives, and our representative was amazing. They took our luggage immediately and we were on the boat within a couple of minutes of arriving. The boat ride is only 10 to 15 minutes, and when you arrive to the lobby, you're continued to be escorted by your arrival representative through the entire check-in experience.
Once we were in the lobby, we were offered a lemonade as a welcome drink, and then we were guided to our room by the same representative that actually met us at the airport, which I thought was a really nice touch. He guided us through all of the features and the amenities of the room with a really nice detailed walkthrough, and I think in general, the check-in was really seamless. If you watch a lot of our videos, one thing you'll know that a lot of hotels seem to miss during lobby and check-in is giving you enough information about what's going on property. And I thought this hotel did a fabulous job. They really walked us through where all the various different restaurants were, what we needed reservations for, what type of food we were gonna find at each restaurant, and all of the fun daily activities that they actually have on property here that are free to guests. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do on property for free, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to facilities. Our third category is rooms.
Rooms we rate 4 stars. This hotel has been completely renovated during COVID, and it is amazing. We are in an Otemanu overwater bungalow, which is one of the highest categories of rooms here on property, and the details are exquisite. It maintains somehow this amazing Polynesian feel while still being modern and clean. The room itself has a sitting area, a beautiful covered outdoor patio with chaise lounges, hammocks, and a lower deck to jump off of into the lagoon, as well as a beautifully modern renovated bathroom. There's double vanities, a gorgeous freestanding tub, rain shower, and a separate toilet room.
The one thing about the rooms is they are a little bit on the smaller side if you compare them to certain other rooms, and if you compare it to one of their sister properties, La Taha, which we actually just stayed at, you can check out that review right up here in the top corner. While those rooms weren't renovated quite to the modern amenities and level of style that they've done here, those rooms were slightly bigger, and in general there were fewer of them, so you felt like you had a little bit more privacy when looking out at the jetty.
There is also a fully stocked minibar that is refilled once a day with 2 juices, a Coke, 2 beers, a Bounty bar, and some chips. There's also an espresso machine with pods that are refilled daily as well.
One of the fabulous things that they've done in this room is the accent lighting. They have beautiful accent lighting all throughout the room, including LED lighting strips that they've added inside the closets, that they've added around the TV, around the roof, that just give it such a beautiful accent. And they've also really placed lights well that are lighting decorative accents throughout the room. They also have beautiful wallpaper in this room, which is really kind of a surprising touch, and I really like it because in addition to the traditional palm weaved wall that they have, have, they also added a lot of this kind of modern, but still has a really Tahitian feel. One thing about the lighting in this room is that there are master switches that they integrated, I'm guessing after the renovation. However, they're not full master switches. They don't completely turn off all of the lights in the room, so there is a little bit of annoyance there. It would be nice if those were labeled in some way so that you can kind of figure out which lights turn off what.
In addition to all the beautiful lighting, they do have a glass bottom floor, which is kind of a raised table sort of thing that actually does open up so you can look at the fish, and it is beautiful. There is a separate light that allows it to be on during the nighttime, and under our bungalow we have fish all day, and we're even frequented by a ray that we call Ray Charles.
One of the cool things that they've done on this property as well is underneath the overwater bungalows, they're actually creating new reefs. So this entire sandbar used to just be sand, but they've put in a huge effort in order to build reef and bring reef to the area. And so they've actually put individual reef structures underneath every piece of glass. And it's really cool because you're already seeing a lot of fish start to adopt those reefs.
The final note about the rooms is that some of the rooms do have 2 twin beds that are connected into a king. So there is this split in between the mattress, which doesn't make for an ideal honeymoon experience or even just a romantic one when you are basically sharing 2 twin beds. We did bring this up with the hotel staff, and it does seem like there are a lot of rooms on property that have this configuration. If you do book a room anticipating a king bed, I would definitely recommend making sure that you get one upon check-in if it's available.
Certainly, if you follow this channel, you will know the #1 recommendation we have to travelers is always reach out ahead of time to make sure that if there are any particular things that you'd like in your room or particular requests you have, make sure to voice those in advance, because the earlier you do it and the more often you do it, the more likely you're going to be to actually get those things. Our 4th category is service.
Service we rate 4 stars. If you've seen our videos from French Polynesia before, like our recent video from Lataha, you'll know that we just love French Polynesian people. They're so authentic, they're genuine, and they really try their best to help you with anything that they can.
While a lot of people describe service in Bora Bora at certain hotels as being a little bit jaded, more so than you find in Tahiti and Moorea and some of the other parts of French Polynesia, we didn't really find that with this staff. We found that they were really excited and eager about working here, and in general, I think that speaks to the Pearl brand of resorts. I think that they really do encourage authentic communication between guests and staff, and I think that lets a lot of the staff be themselves.
The service in general is lacking the refinement of a 5-star property, such as proactive measures for guests, or bringing them towels on the beach, drink service on the beach, things like that. But what it lacks in refinement, it definitely makes up for it with authentic and reactive service.
With a couple issues that we did have on property, they were very quickly resolved, and I think in general this property does a really good job of service recovery. If you do have any issues, make sure to voice them, and they're really good at actually hearing you and working to address it. One thing I will say about this property is it is about double the size of their Lataha property, and I feel like it might be a little bit understaffed at times, particularly when they're really busy and they have a full house. We did notice that some of the service aspects did start to show cracks once we had a lot of people check in on a particularly busy day, particularly around the housekeeping department and a little bit in food and beverage. One thing to keep in mind with a lot of properties in French Polynesia is that a lot of the staff are local, and not just local from French Polynesia, but local from the specific island where you are. So a lot of the staff here are actually from Bora Bora, and I think that's important to take into consideration because, again, when you talk about like really refined service at a lot of 5-star hotels around the world, a lot of those staff go through training programs where they visit some of the most high-class resorts in the world before actually jumping into their job. And so I do think that that's one thing that's worth noting here, is that you're trading some of the refinement and service for more of the authenticity that you're getting from local staff that are excited to work at this hotel and have a local job that allows them to stay where they were born. Our 5th category is dining.
Dining we rate 4 stars. Overall, the dining was good. They offer a number of restaurants across property. They have the main Otemanu restaurant that serves breakfast and dinner. They've got a wine bar that serves sushi, wines, and other beverages. They have a more casual restaurant called Mickey that has build-it-yourself meats and fish, as well as some pizzas and pastas. And they have a gourmet restaurant that is an add-on for half-board packages or $168 per person without a package. There is also a pool bar that's open all day until 10 p.m. So in general, you have a lot of options across the property.
With most room rates here, breakfast is included. The breakfast is a buffet-style breakfast. They do have an egg station where you can have omelets or eggs made how you'd like them, but they had a pretty large selection of breakfast foods, a lot of fresh fruits, cured meats, bacon, sausage, and a lot of fresh fish. In general, I felt like they had a lot of great fish options here.
There is a lot of fish on property, being French Polynesia. If you do not eat fish or are allergic, your options might be more limited. The restaurant that they serve breakfast in was also our favorite restaurant to dine at in general. While we didn't try the gourmet restaurant or the sushi bar, we did absolutely love the views at the Otemanu restaurant, and there is a great selection, especially if you're on the half-board package. Being able to select appetizers, main courses, and dessert really felt like a full experience. If you're not on a meal plan, the pricing of the food was actually very reasonable for what you would expect in Bora Bora Bora. Main entrees ranged between 27 to 50 euros, which I felt was pretty good.
In general, the quality of the dishes varied. There were some things that we got that were very good, and there were others that were just okay. But I will say one thing that is truly 5 stars here are the desserts. They make the most incredible desserts, all of these interesting desserts that crack open. We had one at Mickey that was called the Polynesian Surprise. We had another kind of lemon-based one that looked exactly like a lemon, and then you cracked it open and had this incredible citrus taste to it. And even the one that you had, which looked like a coconut and inside had this beautiful layered mousse cake on the inside. There were just so many delicious flavors for dessert. So if you are like us and you don't often eat a lot of dessert, I would make sure to save room for those desserts because it actually really is worth it.
There's a daily happy hour every day from 5 to 6 at the pool bar. On Saturdays, there's a special sparkling wine happy hour as well that extends until 7 o'clock. While the cocktails are half off, they do discount the champagne by a few dollars here and there, but it is a great option to watch the sunset and really admire the views that you have here in the lagoon. They do also offer room service on property, which we did not try, but we have heard that it is very good. Lastly, there is a Polynesian show. Apparently it happens twice a week. We were here for one of the nights, and that was really fun to be able to experience the local dancers, do a show while you're eating. There's a good buffet with a lot of options, particularly seafood. They do have some meat options available as well, and if you have any allergies, they can accommodate that.
Our 6th category is facilities.
Facilities rate 5 stars, and it's not just because they have everything you need, like a spa, fitness center, multiple bars, great beachfront, but actually one of the key highlights here is actually the daily activities. Every day at 11, there's a free activity for guests like flower crown making, poisson cru making, and more, and that is really rare to see at a luxury hotel.
All those activities are super fun and get you involved in local culture, and I thought it was a really nice touch that they had those as options for guests that you can sign up for every day. They're free, and most of them you get to go home with something, which is pretty cool. You get to go home with a flower crown, you get to go home with a little bit of poisson cru, so it's a really nice introduction to French Polynesia and a nice thing to offer here on property.
They do also offer complimentary shuttle to the main island every 30 minutes at the hotel. Do keep in mind that it does not drop you in the main town. That is a taxi right away, and they do book that for you in advance, so you can let them know anytime you want to go into the main island to do some shopping or tours.
They also include kayaks and paddle boards here. We've seen tons of people taking advantage of that, going out around the lagoon, underneath the huts. It's a beautiful place to do water sports. As we mentioned earlier, they're also in the process of a big project where they've started to build their own reef here. There is snorkeling around and near the huts, and they also offer some excursions where you can learn from a marine biologist exactly what the projects that they're doing are, where they show you the local reef here, and they also take you out to visit nearby reefs. I wish we'd been able to do that on our trip, but unfortunately we were here for too short of a time, so maybe we'll get to do that one next time.
We did take part in a sunset sail, and it was amazing. They have the only solar catamaran in Bora Bora, and we were invited to experience this amazing sunset for 2 hours with an open bar. That was probably the best sunset cruise we've ever done, and the views are just outstanding. And the staff on the boat were so kind, and were telling us everything about the area, the islands, and the views.
You get insane views by going into the bay directly under Otemanu, going around by the nearby town. You get to see a whole nother side of Bora Bora from the water, and I thought it was such a fun excursion. And of course, the sunset was just stunning. Sitting out on the nets on the front of the boat, looking out at the sunset, absolutely gorgeous. Our 7th and final category is style.
Style would rate 5 stars. They did an amazing job with the renovation, and honestly the photos on their website do not do it justice at all. The rooms are incredibly beautiful, and they really maintained the cultural aspects of the hotel while somehow being really modern and clean.
I think it's so great that they were able to keep that Polynesian style and yet still really elevate a lot of these style elements with the way that they've done the lighting, the wood choices that they've made, and just in general the way that the entire room is laid out. The overwater huts, for instance, are a little smaller than the ones at Taha. However, they didn't actually feel smaller, and I think a lot of that is because of how they've laid these rooms out.
Everything is centered here around the view of Otemanu, including the beach bar where they have their happy hours, and they've just really nailed the style at this hotel.
In general, the look and feel of the property has this modern elegance to it, and yet still really authentic to that Tahitian style with the way that they've done the wallpapers, the carvings, the wood railings throughout the property, black pearl inlay that they've done behind the sinks in the bathroom as well as in the lobby. So many great and interesting things that they've done on this property, from small details all the way up to how they've actually designed the general look of the larger features like the pools, restaurants, and even the way that the jetties look from the air.
Overall, we rate this property 4.5 stars. We were blown away from the moment we arrived till the moment we're leaving, and we absolutely love it here. If you're considering an upgrade to the Otemanu Overwater Bungalow versus some of the other lower tier categories, categories, I can guarantee you it is worth it. These views are absolutely spectacular.
The last thing we'll say is that with the renovation, it certainly seems like this property is looking to move from a 4-star category to a 5-star category, and I'm excited to see what changes they'll make to service and dining in the future in particular.
So if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up.
And of course, if you don't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're here in French Polynesia for another couple weeks. We'll be coming out with many more videos from this area and from all around the world. If you are looking to book a trip to French Polynesia, be sure to go check out our website at voyagergrew.com, where we have full destination guides, including written reviews of all of the hotels that we've stayed at, as well as a lot of useful information before booking.
And if you do follow us on Instagram, you would have already seen our entire stay here played out on stories, but if you don't already, go follow us at Voyager Guru on Instagram. And as always, I'm Marin.
And I'm Max.
And we're Voyager Guru. See you out there.